On December 16th, 2017, the Thomas Fire raged through the dry Santa Barbara mountains, devastating the plants and houses along the hillside. 3 weeks later, while the community was still recovering, a massive storm made landfall on the Santa Barbara coast, dumping nearly an inch of rain on the county in just 5 minutes. This intense burst of rain triggered a debris flow that swept through the Montecito neighborhoods early in the morning. When the debris settled and dawn broke, the true extent of the damage was clear. Mud filled the streets, in some places up to 15 feet deep. According to a Geosphere article, 23 people were killed, 167 were injured, and 408 homes were damaged. This would become the worst natural disaster in Santa Barbara history. But this wasn't the first time this happened. Floods and debris flows have been happening in Santa Barbara for decades. In both 1964 and 1971, Santa Barbara faced the same chain of events that happened in 2017. A fire burning through the mountains, followed by heavy rain that triggered a debris flow. So, why does this keep happening? In part, it is due to geography. The Santa Ynez Mountains tower nearly 5,000 feet over Santa Barbara, and houses are built right up into the foothills. The mountains provide a large surface area for rain to land on and gather speed, funneling immense amounts of water down its creeks during a rainstorm. But there is something else that all these events have in common. The Santa Ynez Mountains are covered in many types of vegetation. All of these plants help to hold the dry soil together and prevent erosion from rain. When a fire destroys this foliage, not only does it get rid of the plants preventing erosion, but according to an article by the Washington State Department of Natural Resources, the gases produced coat the top layer of dirt in a waxy substance, making it repel water. After this, if a heavy rainstorm hits the burn scar, huge amounts of water will run down the mountain, unable to absorb into the ground. The water gathers speed, dragging boulders and trees along with it, overwhelming creeks and flowing into surrounding neighborhoods. So, what can we do? Not much can be done about the events that cause debris flows, but measures can be put in place to mitigate the effects. Flood infrastructure is incredibly important in this context. Without proper areas for water and debris to travel, it can spread into inhabited areas and worsen the disaster. This happened during the 2018 debris flow. An important culvert that allows Buena Vista Creek to flow under Park Lane was clogged by debris, causing the flow to divert up onto streets and into neighborhoods. As a result, the Santa Barbara City Council secured funding from FEMA to expand that section of the creek and put in place debris fences that would lower the chance the creek would become overwhelmed. In the end, the best thing to do is to be prepared for an event like this to happen again, not just on the city level by dedicating funding towards building disaster infrastructure, but also on an individual level by creating an evacuation plan and watching for the deadly combination of rain and wildfire.